Hi everyone, I'm Sijia, a PhD student from City University of Hong Kong. Today I'm going to present our paper ClayScape, a generative AI-supported workflow for designing Chinese-style ceramics with clay 3D printing. And Chinese ceramic making has a very long history and a very rich cultural language. The shapes, motifs, materials, glazes that have developed over time, which means the full making process can be very difficult when it often includes so many steps. Each step requires skills, and the steps influence each other as well. So the challenge is not only creativity, but also the complexity of the whole workflow. Digital fabrication can somehow simplify some of these challenges. Clay 3D printing can produce forms and surface textures that are hard to make by hand. But creators need CAD and CAM skills to prepare printable 3D models. For many craft creators, this becomes another challenge instead of a solution. So this is where current AI tools become more interesting. They can support visualization and even 3D model generation from sketches, prompts. But can AI really support craft values? This is why we try to connect generative AI with clay printing and ceramic making. To solve this question, and we conduct two phase study. In phase 1, we develop the workflow through a collaborative design process. And in phase 2, we evaluated the workflow through ClayScape with ceramic creators. In phase 1, there was knowledge exchange between HCI and ceramic expertise. HCI researcher introduced generative AI design possibilities, while the ceramic artist shared ceramic process and clay printing knowledge. This helped us understand which step could be supported by AI and which by clay printing. Then we designed our workflow. And this slide shows the comparison between the traditional techniques with our workflow. We keep the ceramic sequence, but change how some steps are supported. Instead of sketching and hand building, creators use AI-assisted image generation, 3D modeling generation, and clay printing before doing glazing and fairing. We also did some creation trials with the workflow. We tested whether the AI-generated designs could become real ceramic pieces, and we tried the different forms and mixed cultural motifs. We also engraved AI-generated motifs onto surface for printing, and then test if it could really get glazing. And these trials revealed some practical constraints, and we gave suggestions for next steps according to these limitations. We needed visual references and clear sketches for better AI-generated design. We also need design rules for ceramic set, such as avoid steep angles, thin structures, and unclear surface patterns. We also need to consider about the engraving depths with bold segments. And informed by the previous phase, we developed ClayScape as a multi-entry design tool. Users don't need to start from a blank CAD model. The tool supports different kinds of starting points. And they can begin by selecting a shape, drawing a sketch, or writing a prompt, and then generate a 3D ceramic design. And in phase 2, we invited 4 Chinese ceramic creators, 2 beginners and 2 experts. They used the ClayScape to create ceramic works. After they got the design by ClayScape, we help them print the clay, and then they do the surface texture, glazing by hand themselves. So the participants experienced the projects both with the AI-assisted tool and physical craft. Here are the 4 final works they finished, compared with the AI-generated design. During the study, we found that the workflow helped reduce time and made complex ceramic ideas feel more reachable, especially for beginners. Participants don't need to model everything or draw everything by hand. Even for experts, it can improve the efficiency for their techniques. We also find that the workflow inspires new creative directions. Generative AI sometimes suggested forms, patterns, and participants had not planned before. This surprise became a source of inspiration. It also gave beginners confidence to try more complex motifs and designs. Besides the support, there are also some challenge, like material limits. The layer lines and the rough textures are always appear on the clay printed pieces, which a little bit affected the glazing. And also some foams are still risky to print. Even we train the ClayScape to avoid generating unsafe structures. But in some cases, we still need to in like doing the researcher interventions. We really need to care about the materials. There are also some insights about control trade-offs. The workflow made some steps easier, but also reduced freedom in some moments. Like the participants reflect that it's hard to control scale or structural details. In-graph patterns sometimes made participants feel like they were just tracing the AI generated design. It shows like the accessibility and agency need to be balanced carefully. There is another interesting finding about ownership. Participants feel more connected to the work when the AI generated design become a real ceramic object rather than just say a AI generated image. Glazing also is important to preserve because it just saves the personal involvement during this ceramic making process, and the participants need to make the material decisions by hand. So in such hybrid craft workflow, ownership does not only come from the first idea, it also comes from the continued participation in the making process. Thus, in the discussion, we argue that AI and fabrication support each other. Generative AI can lower the modeling barriers, where the clay printing gives AI design material reality. They extend AI-aided craft beyond screen-based image generation, but make it tangible. We also argue that the workflow should assist craft, but not replace it. Human decisions should always keep in the process. It's very important, like glazing, and because they preserve the agency, interpretation, and the material engagement. ClayScape is not fully automated ceramic maker. It's more like assistant or collaborator, help creators explore new possibilities about the ceramic. We also reflected on the cultural grounding, like in Chinese ceramics, like forms and the palettes materials, they are very important. So ClayScape used these cultural references to guide the design process, but the references are not mandatory options. Creators still need room to transform these references. There are also things we definitely need to improve. We think the future system need to better with the print prediction and more controllable AI models and stronger integration of craft knowledge. And to conclude, ClayScape shows how generative AI and the clay printing can lower barriers for Chinese style ceramic creation. It helps creators move from ideas to physical works more easily. At the same time, it reveals the tension in hybrid craft. We need to balance access, agency, material constraints, and cultural grounding. And if you are interested in our study, please scan the QR code here to read the full paper. And you are also welcome to look at my website to know about my work. Besides a researcher, I'm also an artist and a curator. I also want to thank my co-author Silvester Mok, a talented ceramic artist, mainly working with the clay 3D printing, and Ling Long, or Lucy, our system designer, and Professor Tobias Klein, Silvester's supervisor, another brilliant artist working with the 3D print. I also want to give special thanks to my supervisor, Professor Real C, and to our lab, Studio for Narrative Spaces. Thank you so much for listening. I would be very happy to hear your questions, comments, or suggestions. Thank you.